Action. Okay. So as I was saying, the guy is going to try and find what the amount of the jizya is.
Yeah.
Okay. From my understanding, it's below 2.5% of what zakat is for Muslims. From my understanding, okay. And only the men pay it, not the women or the children. Only the men.
I want to make a comment, but that's okay. I'll hold it.
Thank you. Okay. Right. So when Muslims enter new lands, they can give the leadership of that land three options. Okay. They either surrender and pay the jizya, or they fight.
Or convert to Islam.
Or they fight, or they can convert. Thank you. I couldn't remember the third one. Thank you very much. Or they can convert. Yeah. Okay. Now, if they take the land by force, then by default, the people or the men of the conquered lands are going to pay the jizya. Yeah? They're going to pay the jizya. Okay. It's un-Islamic to force them to convert or death. It's un-Islamic. It's un-Islamic. Are there reports of it happening in general in places? Yes. I think it's happened in India from what I've read in the past. But is it un-Islamic? Is it condemned? Yes. 100%. Okay. You talked about, as we talked about, the transition of the pagan Roman Empire into the Christian Roman Empire and how the converts converted into Christianity. And then it moved, and then the population of paganism started to dwindle until they were all, or vast majority, Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware of the Teutonic Knights? Okay. The Teutonic Knights are in the 11th century, sanctioned by the Catholic Church. The Knights of, I think, St. John. Okay. Which were founded during the Crusades.
Are these the one with the black or the white ones?
I can't remember.
The Teutonic Knights, because they're
Honestly,
different.
I can't remember.
Okay, fine.
Now, there were pagans in the Baltic area of Europe, Latvia, Lithuania, parts of Poland. So the Teutonic Knights was a crusade, legitimate crusade, sanctioned by the Pope, the Christians, to fight those pagans for them to become Christian. Okay. There was another sanctioned crusade in southern France in the 9th century. Occitania, southern France in terms of the southern portion of France bordering Spain. There was a sanctioned crusade because those people of Occitania, they were deemed to be deviants. They claimed to be Christian, but they were looked upon as being deviants.
Are you talking about Huguenots or something?
Yes.
Are you talking about Huguenots?
I think so, yes.
No, they were,
Yes.
okay, fine.
No, they weren't Christian then. Or they were...
Well, okay, well, now you're getting into a very different area. Roman Christianity, because they were ruling by power and they were controlling the land and everything, they deviated from the Christianity of Jesus, which is to, forgive and love and all that. It's never sanctioned in the Bible to start occupying the world and start making empires and so. However, when the Pope got into the empire business, he started erasing people or getting rid of people who were not following the his political agenda, meaning they weren't accepting the Pope. That was the Huguenots.
They were heretics.
They were declared heretics because they rejected the Pope.
But I think that theology was dodgy as well. It wasn't just that. Their theology.
According to their theology, because they were bringing in theology, because the church at that time you had to follow the Pope, and the Pope was equal to Jesus. So they were rejecting all that. So whoever rejected it was a heretic.
Yeah, but there was more to it.
Well, I know.
More to it.
Okay, no,
you're right. What I'm saying is their theology was not only them it was not only because of them discounting the Pope. There was more to it. They were heretics.
Right, but what's your point, by the way?
So what my point is, there were sanctioned crusades against those people of southern France, for example, those pagans in terms of the Baltics, in Latvia, Lithuania, and in Poland. Let me finish. Okay, right. Now, you talked about jizya in terms of killing non-Muslims if they don't convert. Okay, I'm going to read you an excerpt of the Byzantine Islamic transition in Palestine, an archaeological approach, written by Gideon Avni, who was a Jew. Right. What he says in his preface is this: based on comprehensive evaluation of archaeological findings from hundreds of excavation sites, this book addresses the transformation of local societies in Palestine and Jordan between the 6th and 11th centuries. Its main argument is that archaeological findings provide a reliable, through complex picture indicating that Byzantine Islamic tradition was evidently a much slower and gradual process than previously concluded, meaning the transition from Christian peoples of that land to becoming Muslim people of that land was gradual. Because if it was by the sword, they would have all done it en masse. You either all convert or we kill you. But it shows, as the guy said, it was a gradual process, okay, that people left Christianity in that land and became Muslim.
In which land are we talking about exactly?
Palestine and Jordan.
Palestine and Jordan.
When the Muslims took over the Byzantines.
Okay, fine. All right, that's your point. I don't agree with that, by the way, but let's now focus on Spain. Because what happened in Spain then? Was it a gradual process of Islamization in Spain?
Yes.
Was it? Yes. If that was the case, then why did Spain kick the Muslims out after centuries?
Yes. Okay, that's a very good point. So the Christians of the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, they call it the Reconquest.
Yeah.
The Reconquest.
Yeah.
Okay. When the Muslims came into Spain and Portugal, they took over the whole of modern-day Spain, except for a small portion in the north, modern-day Basque and some of Galicia, right in the north. That part of Spain they didn't conquer, and then they went into parts of southern France. Okay. What happened is the Christians from France and those small portions of northern Spain, after a process of about 700 years, they managed to conquer what the Muslims took. Okay. But the question is this: they were opposing rulership of Muslims whose, in the vast majority of cases, whose ancestry came from either North Africa, meaning they were Berbers, Amazigh, or from the Arabs who were from the Middle East, okay? But the population overwhelmingly were those native people, to some extent, because you had the Visigoths coming as well. Those people who lived there prior to Islam, who converted. The majority of the Muslim population of that region, of Spain and Portugal, under Islamic rule, they were reverts, or sons and sons and sons and sons and sons and daughters of reverts. It's been documented, and I'll try and get the name of the scholar, that during this whole period, there were only 60,000 Muslim men, who emigrated into Spain. But at that time, there were millions of Spanish. At that time, millions, which showed majority of the population were reverts. So when the Christians
at the peak of this, what was the division between Christians and Muslims of Spain at the height of Islamic rule?
I don't understand your question, sir.
Sorry?
I don't understand your question, sir.
The question is, what was the percentage of Muslims at the height of Islamic rule there?
So I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know.
Percentage-wise, let's say
it was the majority, but I don't know.
Majority, so more than 50% of the...
100%, yeah, but I don't know.
They were...
Yeah,
okay.
It's a majority.
But it's a majority, you're saying. Okay, so more than 50% of them
I don't know.
Converted to Islam voluntarily in Spain. So you're saying that when the reconquest happened, what happened to those people that were majority of those Muslims that were there?
What happened to them?
Yeah, what happened to them?
So some were taken as captives and slaves by the Christian princes and kings who took over. Some, eventually towards the end,
did they force them to convert to Christianity?
Yes, some were. Moriscos they were called.
Sorry?
They were called Moriscos.
Uh-huh.
Moriscos.
Did they give them a choice to go back to their country?
Some, yes.
Okay.
No, not a choice. They were expelled.
Okay.
You had to leave
So
as well.
okay. So if I come and conquer the land and I say all the Muslims hereby are expelled, go back to whatever Morocco, whatever you want to do, get out of here. Okay.
Hello, darling.
So are you saying that all those people went back to their countries?
No, not all.
Okay. So what happened to those Muslims is what I'm saying.
This,
Yeah, you know he did. You know he did. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Okay.
the Spanish Inquisition lasted at least 200, 250 years. The Spanish Inquisition. It lasted centuries, couple of centuries. Okay. So at the beginning, when the Christian kings and princes conquered a Muslim land.
The Muslim land. You mean you
No, in Spain and Portugal.
Spain,
We're talking
okay.
about Spain and Portugal, yeah? Because it was a gradual reconquest. It wasn't all one.
No, of course it
It
has
was
to be
gradual,
take a time. Yeah.
So it was gradual. So at times when they conquered, okay, they would make a peace agreement with the Muslims, right? If you surrender and we have a peace agreement, we will allow the Muslims to stay as they are, practice their religion, freedom of religion.
They gave them freedom of religion.
It happened. Yeah.
Really?
So, for example, when the Christians conquered Barcelona and Valencia and Zaragoza, that's all where Barcelona is, the king at the time, he gave them freedom of religion. No problem. When King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, for example, finished the reconquest or the conquest and took the Emirate of Granada,
Granada.
they did another peace agreement, said we give you freedom of religion. But because of the Spanish Inquisition, which happened after that conquest, the last conquest in 1492, from 1492 the Inquisition generally started, which took 200, 250 years. The Spanish Inquisition became more severe and more harsh. So it's what Ferdinand and Isabella gave as guarantees. The king at the time, with the Catholic Church at the time, reneged on those agreements, and they started forced conversions. So they're called Moriscos. Some of them, Muslims and Jews, converted, but they were secret Muslims and Jews. They were secret Muslims and Jews. Okay. So, for example, they used to hold banquets in the city centre, the town centre, and they used to watch who doesn't eat pork or drink wine. Ah, you're Muslim, you're a Jew. Yeah. And they used to have them hang. You know the famous Iberian ham that they have in Spain.
Okay.
You're not having a slice of it before. Seriously, no. It's a famous thing.
Well,
for
if
them.
you say it's tasty, it must be.
I've never had it. But they would have them hang in front of their doors as a sign. So there was a lot of manoeuvres going on. And then they would burn them to the stake.
Muslims.
They would burn Muslims and Jews to the stake.
Okay.
And then a point came right towards the end
I'm going to tell you an Arsenal supporter.
where there was a mass exile of Jews and Muslims.
Were they expelled when they did the exile? They were, weren't they?
That's what it is.
Okay. So it was okay.
That's what that means.
Right. Now, okay, so that's a long story you gave me. Let me just get to my point. When the Muslims conquered the Byzantine Empire, right? The
What part?
Okay. Palestine was Byzantine Empire, all this Jordan, Syria,
All of it.
and Antioch, these are all
Everything that a Muslim
Right,
conquered.
right.
Yes,
it was
okay,
all. Now, did they ever give them the choice to exile? To go back to Byzantine, because they were Byzantine Empire. So if I conquered this part of Byzantine, I could say, okay, you can move back into your country.
To
Go
be
back.
honest, Sam, I don't know whether they gave him the option.
And I will tell you, and I really, that's why I talk to you, because I respect you, because you're not a dishonest person. So they, as far as I know, and I can assure you, they never gave them that choice.
So
to
they're
move.
forced to stay there.
No. When you allow people to get out, you give them time and they say, okay, you have until next year to get out of here. Or 6 months or 2 months, whatever time
Something.
you want to give them, whatever is appropriate, you say, okay, by that time, we want you out of this land or you're going to be consequences. Okay? So people would leave. Did that ever happen with the Muslims? Did they ever give anybody that choice?
I'm not aware of whether they forced them to stay or
Not
they allowed
forcing.
them to go.
Listen,
Yeah.
exiling people gives them a chance to escape, basically. Escape the wrath that's coming to you. I'm exiling you. Get out of this land. You're not allowed here. If you stay here, there'll be consequences, right? So
But what are the consequences? I don't understand.
well, the consequences is jizya, and the consequences are the. Now we haven't found out. Anybody, buddy,
Did you find it?
Mark, did you find out how much jizya you had to pay? Come on, bro. We're looking for that figure because he's claiming it's less than 2.5%, which is impossible because of.
It says it here, but like all I could find it was on Wikipedia. That's all I could find.
Oh, Wikipedia. What did it say on Wikipedia? What did it?
Because it keeps
Has
changing.
it got a source? Because Wikipedia sometimes has got a button and it takes you to below to the source.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Because let me come back to the jizya. Because my point is that Islam, when it conquered, it had jizya, or you convert, or you're dead. These are the three choices. Now, jizya, if you say it was only 1.5%,
It's not you're dead.
all right.
You fight. And if you're in the army, you might die. You might not die.
No.
And if you're not in
After
the
you
army,
lost the
don't
battle,
die.
after your army lost the battle,
They don't execute them. No.
no. Then they come in the city and they say, all the men here, we can let you live if you pay the jizya, or if you convert to Islam
After the battle.
after the battle.
No, this option of three is before the battle.
No, before the battle, the choice is you either convert to Islam or we are conquering you. Because
No.
you can't ask them to pay you jizya when you haven't conquered them.
Exactly, they do. Look, let me explain something. So honestly, I'm not lying to you. Seriously.
All right.
Before the battle takes place,
You say, okay, either
you've got
surrender,
three- Yes, it's like that.
either you surrender, or
What is surrender? Surrender means jizya. Because when you say jizya, the Muslims will come in,
and we'll
become
rule
the government,
government,
and you pay your tax, the jizya.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not after, it's before. Honestly, I'm not lying.
All right,
Seriously.
okay, fine. Let's take it that way. However, if I was a weak king, I knew I was going to lose the battle, I would take the jizya if it was such a small percentage of my income. As you stated, it's less than 2.5%, the jizya. Now that will come back to haunt you.
But you're going to lose power. It's not only jizya.
Yeah, no, but let's say it's either I lose my power or I die, or I have to pay an exuberant amount of tax, which I'm saying is like exuberant, meaning over 50% of your income is in tax. That's exuberant tax.
That's not jizya.
That is jizya. So,
Can you show me it?
okay, that's what we are looking for
So
right now.
don't make a comment when you can't show it. Let's just keep it ambiguous.
Oh my
We
God.
don't know.
Okay,
You can't
because
say
you made a
50
comment.
You
No.
can't say 50%.
Then
I said it's below. I believe
do
it's
you
below.
say 2.5%,
I said I
right?
believe it's below, but
Okay.
we're still trying to find out. Now you're saying it's 50%
I'm saying it is exuberant.
exuberant. Okay.
Exuberant
Leave
would
it as
mean-
that. Leave it as that.
Exuberant would
Maybe
mean
it's that.
over 50% in my mind, what exuberant would mean. Anyways, the people who would refuse to pay jizya is not because it's a very low tax. When it's a matter of life and death and all this stuff, paying a small tax is not a punishment. Jizya is why you have to accept it with humble, they will feel humbled. You don't feel humbled if you are paying 10% tax and he's a Christian, he's paying 5% tax. How is he going to feel humble? He's going to feel superior to you.
Remember, the reason why someone feels humbled is
It
because
says that in your book, by the
the
way.
reason why is because those people in general are losing political power. Wait, they no longer retain the political power.
Oh, no, they no
number,
longer-
Number two, those men who pay the jizya, they don't have to enlist in the army. If another political entity attacks their lands, it's the Muslims who fight to defend their lands. You would not have to fight. You can fight if you want to, but you don't have to fight. And if the Muslims lose the battle, they would give you all your jizya back for that year that you paid. Because, yes.
Show me example of that.
Okay, I promise I will. They would give the money back. So there's nuances.
Never heard that before.
There's
And I asked him for
nuances.
that. Okay, because jizya is not something that's like a very minor tax, because nobody's gonna feel punished or like the.
Here, so I've got a reference here from, hang on. So the reference is from Introduction to Islam International, Islamic Federation of Students.
But that's from Islamic sources, bro.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, fine.
But
Go ahead.
It says though, give me your tune. It's just gone away. Is according to Muhammad Abdullah, the rate was 10 dirhams per year in the time of the Prophet, but this amounted to expenses of an average family for 10 days.
10 10 days.
10 days worth of expenses.
So what you would spend
In
for
10
10 days
days.
on gas, electricity, food,
You pay as
water,
jizya.
is that exorbitant?
A
No,
month.
that's from the Islamic source.
Come on, bro. I told you it's
It was a month though.
No, you gotta have a.
Sam, can you see this?
Yeah.
Because I know you lost. In the classical manual of the Shafi'i fiqh, you know Shafi'i, Imam Shafi'i, there's 4 madhabs.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Imam Shafi'i is one of them. Reliance of the traveller, it is stated that the minimum non-poll tax is 1 dinar, which is 4.235 grams of gold per person per year.
Per year. Okay. So if it's 10 days wages, okay, all right, let me say something. If it's 10 days wages, all right, for the non-Muslims to pay, bro, in those days, people were paying a lot of taxes to their own government. So now an invading government is coming in and saying, oh, you were paying 25, 30, 40% tax or whatever your government is charging, we're going to charge you 10 days wages, which
So
is like,
it was less.
yeah.
The jizya tax was less than they were paying
Okay.
the Byzantine government or any other government. It was less.
Less.
Yes,
So how are they
Sam.
humble by paying less tax?
Because you, I'm telling you, submit, surrender.
Or pay the jizya.
No, I'm telling you, submit and surrender and pay me the jizya and lose political power. That's it.
Bro, no matter what you do, that does not make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, bro.
come
If you
on.
conquer somebody, you're gonna squeeze them
Hold
out
on,
of the
hold on,
penny
hold on,
you
hold
can.
on, hold on, Sam.
Or not say, oh,
problem.
you were paying before, so you're
no
used to paying
problem.
30,
Problem.
30% of your
No
income.
problem.
Look, oh, yeah, I need water. Thank you.
Sam,
Can you help me, bro?
Sam.
Can you find what was the jizya that they had to pay in the Islamic empires? Because he's saying it's like 10 days wages, which is ridiculous. No, he didn't find it.
Of the gross. So this one's different.
Should be in which century? First century of Islam?
Like what was the jizya that the non-Muslims had to pay under Islam? How much was the like annually? Like if it was 10%, 20%, 30% of their wages, what was the amount of jizya that they had to pay? Because it says they had to be humbled. He's saying they have to pay 10 days of their yearly income as jizya. I said, well, that's less than what they would pay normally. How would they be humbled by paying less than what they were paying usually? That doesn't make any sense.
time. So what you're saying is,
Find it. Let me know. If you
By
find
the
it.
time of Muhammad, the GCR rate was 1 dinar per year.
Okay, that
gold coin.
yeah, that
One
one gold
dinar,
coin. So that means that it was way cheaper than anything else. Which source are you looking at? Get the right source.
I don't know. So what you're saying is, the brother Mark said. So what you're saying is, as Muslims, we're too nice.
What I'm saying is
That's
that's
what you're
false.
saying, Sam.
No, what I'm saying is that coming from the wrong source. If you ask the Islamic source, they always sugarcoat Islam,
No,
especially in the West. That's why we need. Okay, Islam is it says right.
You're saying we're too nice.
Okay, jizya cannot be 10 days wages of the yearly income, which is less tax than what the Byzantine were paying to the Byzantines themselves. He's saying that Islam came in and asked them for less tax as jizya.
But if you don't pay it
than
death.
No, but
It seems like a bit of a harsh
right. But the
not
thing
true.
is,
Second
but
class
that's-
citizenship,
but
they're
not
just,
true.
but if they're not Muslim, they're not just,
No,
aren't they?
but what you said is, if you don't pay it death, that's
No,
not true.
obviously they can't pay you money if they're dead. Sorry, that was my mistake.
Yeah.
It's an alternate reading, like it's the 929
yeah, but the
one,
thing is, it's too
non-believer.
nice. He's saying that we were nicer to the people we conquered
Well,
than their own
what?
government.
Sam,
Sweetie,
if you're gonna
what-
talk to me, please.
You don't want me involved. Ask him about not being able to fix your churches or worship in public, like Christians, second-class citizens can't fix your churches.
Oh
and
yeah,
they get
why couldn't you
vandalised.
fix the churches under Islamic law? Can you fix the churches under
Can I
Islamic
fix
law?
a mosque in Christian law?
Of course you can.
Why?
You can do whatever,
Why?
whenever. You said that in
Why?
Spain we allowed them to follow
Why?
Islam.
No.
Why do you
Can
guys
we,
do
can
that?
we build mosques?
Yeah,
Can you build a church of Satan?
you can here. Yeah.
No, under a Christian country. Can you build a church of Satan?
Well, there were no Satanists.
Doesn't
open.
matter. Can you build a church of Satan?
Well, look,
Let me tell you
I
something.
can
Let me
only
tell-
address
Sam,
historical facts.
Sam,
If there was
Sam,
something that was never there,
Sam.
then were there Satanists back then? Yes, there were.
Sam, look. I'm telling you now, in your own time, do your research when you've got time. We see each other every week, most weeks. Yes? From my understanding, as I said, the jizya is below 2.5%, which is zakat, which is obligatory on Muslims. It's below it. Now you're saying, We're too nice.
No,
Maybe
I'm
we
saying
are.
that's false because that doesn't make any sense according to your
Why
own
is it
teaching.
false?
Because you are telling them don't build your churches, don't repair your churches. We are punishing you because we are your overlords now. Give us jizya. Oh, by the way, how much jizya do I have to give you? Oh, how much are you giving your government? Oh, 30%. Can I give you 30%? No. To me, give me 10%. Does that make sense to you? Really? That's what you're telling me to believe. And I'm saying that's wrong. Just because I don't have the exact amount of jizya right now, because the internet does not, I will go and research it, and I'll come back to you with the right resources that'll tell you exactly what the jizya was. And that when you will have to admit it, because right now we're looking at Wikipedia or we're looking at Islamic sources. We're saying, oh, 1 dinar, oh, 10 days wages. How does that make any sense?
Give me a source from Islamic law what the jizya
All
is
right.
and the
We'll-
variables
we'll-
within
all
it,
right, all
because
right.
it could vary from different
All right,
opinions.
all right.
Okay?
Let's find out.
Okay.
Okay, since we are missing a critical part of this argument, his claim is it's less than 2.5%. We are looking at sources from Islamic sources saying 10 days wages or 1 dinar, which is absolutely bizarre because that means that they're asking them to pay less money than they're used to paying anyways, which doesn't make any sense, especially when they're talking in a harsh way to them and saying, we're going to punish you, we're your overlords now, you cannot build your churches, we cannot repair your churches, you have to walk on the side of the road when we're walking on the road, move aside, when they're humiliating you, and when we really want to humiliate where it counts, where it comes to money, oh, we're going to charge you less money, we're so nice. So that's his claim. I'm disputing that claim.
Show me in the Quran all those Sahih hadith where a non-Muslim has to walk on the other side of the road.
Does it or does it not say in the hadith and the
Show me. No, I'm not aware of that. No, I'm not aware of that.
So you're not aware that
No,
it
please
says
show
that-
me.
Oh, okay.
And it's part of Islamic law for them to do that.
Bro, can you show me the hadith where it says non-Muslims have to walk on the side of the road when they see the Muslims coming up? Let me show you what that is. Do you know the hadith where non-Muslims have to walk on the side of the road?
Push it to the
Yeah. Can you
narrow
please
side.
give me the reference? No?
See what I'm in the middle.
Oh, okay. He's got it. Okay, hold on. What is it?
Sam, Sahih Muslim, book 26, hadith 5389.
All right, can you show it to me? I can read it for him. What is the reference again?
It's Sahih Muslim.
Oh, okay. Sahih Muslim, book 26, hadith 5389. Yeah? I'm gonna read it for you. Oh boy, this is so small, bro. Okay, read it for me. Could you? Read it. Come here and read it so I can put it on the mic. Yeah.
Narrated by Abdul Hira that the Messenger of Allah said, "Do not precede the Jews and Christians with the salam, and if one of them meets you in the path, then force them into its narrow portion."
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Come on. How do you like the screen? Sorry.
Gone down a little bit.
That's all right. That's good. I'm just looking at the.
So the second time, Christians do, when you say God has a son, you actually go back to the Old Testament teaching. The first time you believe that God had a son, he belonged the son of God. So when you say son of God, it goes to that.
Do you know this website he used? Look, let me read the beginning of it, where he got it from. I have always advised Muslims and others that when you use a hadith or a Quranic verse, you should know the historical background as to why it was said and when it was revealed. if you do not know the very basics of when and why the verse of the Quran was revealed, or why the Prophet peace upon him said something, don't try to give an explanation and lead innocent people astray. Without its historical background, one will at times give an interpretation that may be alien to the way it was understood when it was uttered. For example, and then it starts to give these hadiths. So what he's saying is, people are going to give these hadiths and twist the understanding of the meaning.
Right.
Hold on. And the ironical thing is that Brother Mark got this hadith from this website without even reading the intro to the website.
All right. So, okay, I'm glad you read the first. So now you tell me what was the correct rendition of
I
this
don't know
website.
it. I don't know it. I've read the beginning of it. I haven't read the end of it, where he explains the meanings of these certain hadiths.
Okay, now in response to that, since you said you don't know what the context of that hadith is, I would argue that hadith is not very ambiguous. There's no wording in that hadith that would be like, oh, what this could mean this or that. It's very plain. Okay, that's my response to that. Now you would have to twist that hadith. It's the other way around to make it say something that it isn't. It's a very plain wording.
Not necessarily twist. I need to get the Islamic. I'll tell you something, Sam.
Yeah.
The classical and Islamic scholars, they didn't care what any of us think today, or especially back then.
Okay.
They didn't care. They gave a genuine understanding that they believed was true to Islam.
Right.
Not to make you feel good or to make or to make me feel good. So what I need to do is go back.
Can we look up one of who is that? Who is that? Okay, tafsir. You're talking about the tafsir.
It would be what's called like a sharh, the version of tafsir of hadith.
Okay, can you get one for this one?
There's two. You could probably get it from Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani.
Hajar al-Asqalani?
Ibn
Hajar al-Asqalani.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did he say it's from Sahih? It's Muslim or Bukhari?
Sahih Muslim.
So I don't know whether he did one or Muslim. But we need to get someone back then who did an explanation of Muslim. It's probably in Sahih, probably Bukhari as well, and get an explanation from it.
Okay, the thing is this.
Now,
in this context, because I just have to say this, because in this verse is not very ambiguous. Like there's nothing like any context. Let's say they were in a war, or the Christians were being bad to them, or Jews were, whatever the context was. No context is this verse can be put where it would be something that would make it look like it was misconstrued or something. It wasn't. It says what it says.
Sam, if I know historically.
Yeah.
That non-Muslims did not have to walk in a particular. Then you got a cycle lane. Then we got cycle lanes. We didn't have cycle lanes for non-believers. Or if a non-believer was walking there, as Muslims had to walk on the other side.
He said you have to force them to the narrow path of the road.
Bro, what I'm trying to say is there's an explanation of the hadith which is not your understanding of it. Do I know what it is? No.
All right.
No, I don't.
Okay, well that's a cop out. Like
that's what I know.
Because the thing is, it's a very simple.
Sam, I cannot help you. That's what I know. Sorry. It's what I can do.
It's a simple.
Am I going to say no? But what I do know is they didn't do that. They didn't do that. Okay. Talking about the jizya.
Are we still talking? I'm going to have to get you the correct figure, bro.
Let me finish. Inshallah, God willing, I'm going to do research on this hadith about walking on the other side of the road.
All right.
And you do your
jizya.
Okay, remember that. Okay.
So I'm going to remember that you said it's less than 2.5%.
From my understanding, yeah.
Okay. And on the other resources that you agree with, it's 10 days wages or 1 dinar.
No. There's going to be differences of opinion on how much it is. But what I can say for certainty, it's not the majority or overwhelming amount of their wealth.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Now, about the jizya, let me read this. This is also why you pay taxes. Because the authorities are working for God when they fulfill their duties. Pay then what you owe them. Pay your personal and property tax and show respect and honor for all of them.
Who's saying this?
Paul.
Okay, why are you quoting me, Paul?
Because Paul is saying when you're living under a non-Christian government, to pay your taxes.
Which he was.
Of course, to pay your taxes, because that shows respect and honor for them, and it says because the authorities are working for God when they fulfill their duties. So Paul is saying in Romans 13, 6 and 7 to pay your taxes. In Mark it said, Jesus said, what is unto Caesar's is unto Caesar's. The taxes, the property, whatever. What is unto God, Christ or God is unto God. So the Bible says, obey the law and pay your taxes. So if a Muslim comes to you, or you're born into an Islamic country where you're paying jizya, your Bible says pay jizya. Your Bible says it, Paul says it.
No, that's fine. But the thing is, what you're doing is, if you're taking cutthroat rates from people under threat of murder.
Now this is what I got to say.
Say, I'm gonna kill you if you don't give me 50% of your salary. I will kill you.
That's not true. Is this Soko? Soko. This is what you call a Hadouken. The Bible says pay jizya.
Bible does not say that the people who are robbing you, then help them to rob
Thanks for
you.
your help.
All
Sam,
right.
as always.
Good to see you,
May
man.
God bless
All right.
you. Yeah?
God bless you. All right, that's it. We will come back to this point, because the point that, I don't know exactly, if somebody knows it, put it in the comments, give me the reference. I need to know exactly how much jizya Muslims were charging Christians, especially the ones that were in the Levant, in the Palestinian area, Jordan, Syria, all these areas. What was the jizya that the Abbasid were collecting from the non-Muslims? They also did not want them to convert to Islam, because they wanted them to also collect a lot of jizya money from them. So there you have it. Anyways, we'll talk to you next time. Do the research, find out about this. Islam was spread through the sword. Christianity was not. Christianity is the truth. Islam is from the devil. I'm out.